Okay, so this is one of our last days of science. I don't think it's the last day, but we're really close. So I want to talk to you about soil. Soil is an important part of plant growth, and if you have bad soil, your plants will just struggle. We have planted some new bushes around our house, and we did it, I think, the year that we moved in. And we planted Texas knockout roses, and so they are very sturdy plants. They will grow in a lot of different kinds of soil. They are doing really great. And we planted some privet hedge, and it is looking very sick, and it's just not doing good because our dirt is like this bag, and I want you to get the bag that is not crumbly. And I want you to, if it is stiff and hard, I want you to put a tiny bit of water, a tablespoon of water, and I want you just to mash it. And notice that it's a lot like Play-Doh or clay. And that's because it has a lot of clay in it. If you look at the other bag, if you put water in this bag, just maybe a tablespoon, it will still remain crumbly. They are very different soils. So, if you are a tiny little root hair and you are trying to grow in this clay, or you're trying to grow in this powder, which would be easier? Which can you move around easier? The powder kind. So, just for that reason alone, it is much easier for plants to grow in a powdery soil. I'm going to get a plate. I'm actually going to get a cookie sheet. And I'm going to dump mine out. And you may want to do this outdoors, not in the house. Or you may want to get a bowl or a plate. I'm going to dump some of this out. And I want you to look at it. Alright, you can also look at yours. But I want you to look at the pieces that are in there. What does it look like? It almost looks like mulch. Okay? And I don't know if your bag has any. But I bought this dirt specially to fill up my raised garden beds, and it was called Landscaper's Blend, and it was for raised vegetable beds. It was one of the things it was for, and it said a microbiologist has viewed this dirt. That's how important the dirt is for growing plants. It has little rocks in it. Occasionally you'll see a tiny little rock. When you water the plants, you will see sand show up. So sand is another kind of dirt. Do you think plants grow good in sand? No, they do not. Sand is the opposite of clay. Sand is so loose, it won't hold water. It won't hold together. So there's no, plants cannot stay moist, and they don't have the nutrients they need. So if I take some of this out, I will have to wash my hands. This stuff is just so sticky. Now this dirt will hold water. It is clay. Gosh, it's hard and stiff. But if you get enough water in there, you can mash it. You can like make little Play-Doh people with it, or whatever you wanted to. Now this one, it's not going to stick to my hand because it's just going to fall. So if you put all sand for growing, it will not hold water. If you put all clay, it holds water too long, and when it dries out, I'm going to ask you to get your clay wet enough that you can mash it and mold it, and then I want you to take it outside and put it in a sunny spot. After a few days, it's going to be like a brick. People actually used to make bricks with this. They used to make their houses with this kind of dirt. It's very useful for some things, but once it's like a brick, do you think a plant root can grow in that? Not at all. This has the, if you do sand, it's like I said, it'll never hold water. But this dirt right here, it has the correct amount of sand in it, the correct amount of clay in it, and it has nutrients. How do you get nutrients in soil? Well, we're going to learn about that. And plants do need good soil. They don't just need any old dirt. So this dirt actually came from my yard. So in my yard, this is the kind of dirt we have, and it is not great for growing plants. And that is why I built raised garden beds, so I could get some good dirt in there and get some good results. All right, so I'm going to wash my hand, and then I'm going to come back and read you the soil book. So what I want y'all to do is I want you to go out into your yard and I want you to dig a bag of dirt and I want you to see what color dirt it is. Now when we lived in Mississippi, which is 8 hours east of us, we had a more sandy dirt in some places and we had a clay dirt that was like this in some places, but it was red. It was not dark. It was red clay. And you cannot grow anything in red clay. And everybody in Mississippi like, oh, I've got that red clay. I can't grow anything. And then some of it would be sandier, but it would be like a sandy red clay. It would be still reddish, and it would have some clay in it, but a lot of sand. Not good for growing either. If you're going to be growing stuff, you need crumbly, dark dirt. That's a sign that it's healthy. All right, so let's get our types of soil out. So what I was saying is I want you to go to your backyard. We're going to cut this soil book apart. You know how to do it. Take your staple out and cut it apart. And I want you to dig a bag of dirt, and I want to see what kind of dirt is in your yard. In some places in Burleson, they have what's called limestone. And my goodness, it's like a rock. It is a rock. Limestone is a rock. And you cannot dig it up. It's like chopping rocks. It's like, what is going on? And in some places, I really don't know of any great dirt places in Burleson. There may be some, I just haven't seen any. And the easiest way to get plants to grow is to haul some good dirt in. Even if you're planting a flower bed, it's best to haul in some good dirt. Because you want your plants to be able to succeed and look beautiful. Alright, and you can even look at the description on plants, and it will tell you, needs sandy, loamy soil. Can do well in alkaline or acidic soils. Alkaline is a type of soil that is, you'll start learning about pH bases later. It's another way to classify soils and water. All right, let's look at this. That's a little bit deeper than I want to get into today. Let's stack up our book. And of course, I forgot my staple. So we're going to look at types of soil. So what kind of soil do you think is in that picture? It looks crumbly and it looks dark. I'm guessing that is some good soil. If you buy a bag of potting soil, have you ever pulled out potting soil that's stiff like this? Then you got too cheap of a soil. I remember one time I was just looking for the cheapest dirt and it said topsoil. And I'm like, great dirt. But it was clay like this. It was not dark like this, but it had a lot of clay in it. And I was very disappointed. So if you buy dirt, Miracle-Gro has really good dirt. You need to buy something that's either organic or it says potting soil, not topsoil, because topsoil can just be what they scraped off the top of the earth, which may actually already have its topsoil scraped. So if you just leave the earth alone, it has good topsoil on it. Because animal droppings and grass and leaves and trees falling, all of that makes more dirt. And I'm going to tell the whole story before I read the book. I'm so excited about dirt. Miss Sammy's a dirt girl. Types of soil. All right, so we have a little chart here that's handy to help us learn. So if there are 6 types of soil. There's silty, clay, sandy, chalky, peaty, and loamy. So I have not lived in all the places of the world, so I have not experienced all of these soils on the ground. So I know you can buy different kinds of soils, but I've not seen them on the ground. It said, did you know there are 6 main types of soil? The 6 types of soil are clay, sandy, silty, peaty, chalky, and loamy. Let's take a closer look at each kind of soil. Oh yes, in the summertime, even now, we had all of that rain in the spring. My yard is starting to look like this. This is a clay soil. When it starts drying out, it cracks. Clay soil feels lumpy and sticky. When it is dry, it feels rock hard. Clay soil drains poorly. That's because it holds water, so the water does not drain out of it good, and has few air spaces. It's so sticky. It's just like all clumped and mashed together, whereas this, you can see that air can move in between there. If drainage is improved, plants grow well in clay soil because the nutrients stay in the soil to feed the plants, but you have to get it to where it can drain. Sandy soil. All right, we've all played in a sandbox, so we know what sand feels like. Sandy soil is gritty. gritty to the touch. It almost feels like it'll cut you. In the spring, this type of soil warms up quickly. It also dries out rapidly. Sandy soil may lack nutrients because they wash out easily in wet weather. Sandy soil just can't hold anything. It just washes it out. Sandy soil is also known as hungry soil because it soaks up water, but the water runs through it. Nutrients go through it. So it's a hungry soil. All right, this is a silty soil. Let's see what this is. Silty soil is smooth and soapy to the touch. It drains well, but it also retains moisture. So that's kind of a plus. Silty soil is richer in nutrients than sandy soil. It is also heavier than sand. Silty soil is a very good soil if it is well managed. That means it has to be fed and watered properly. Peaty soil. Peaty soil is dark in color and contains a lot of organic matter. We're going to talk about organic matter called peat. It has few nutrients and warms up quickly in the spring. Peaty soil is fantastic for plant growth if fertilizer is added. Okay, so organic matter can be like you can throw away banana peels, apple cores, grass clippings, leaves. All of that will break down and rot. Okay, that makes a peaty soil. This has a lot of peat in it. Okay, it is a peaty soil. That's why it's dark and it has a lot of mulch in it, you can see. All right, chalky soil. There's not any chalky soil that I know around here. Maybe it's like a limestone. I don't know. Chalky soil is usually full of rocks and drains very easily. This type of soil can be poor for plant growth because it lacks some minerals that plants need to grow. This causes leaves to yellow. Fertilizers can be used in chalky soil to help plants grow better. I don't think I've ever dealt with chalky soil. Loamy soil. Loamy soil is called the perfect soil because it drains well, it holds moisture, and it's full of nutrients. In the spring, it warms up quickly and it doesn't dry out. Consider yourself very lucky or very blessed if you have loamy soil. All right, so there's only one kind of soil that doesn't need much tending to grow plants. If you've got clay, it is not going to grow plants, not very many kinds of plants. You will have to bring in sand and organic matter to get it looser. So what I am doing is I am growing some soil. Like, how do you grow soil, Miss Amy? Well, you build a compost bin and you put cardboard in it. I'm not using cardboard that has a lot of colors and pictures on it, just brown cardboard, paper brown sacks. I am doing all of my banana peels, onion papers. Coffee is good in compost. Coffee filters, because you have to have the brown matter and you need grass clippings or some green matter to rot down. I put I had a lot of mixed lettuce that spoiled. I put that out there, and so I'll try to take a video of my garden beds and my compost pile, and I'll show you how it's going. And so just know that if you're going to grow in your own dirt, you need to take it to a home economics office, and every city usually has a home economics office. You have to look it up online, and they will tell you what your soil needs. Otherwise, you can buy some dirt and you will just have to add less to it, because this, I don't think this is really loamy. It might be loamy, but I know it has a lot of peat in it, has a lot of organic matter, and I will need to fertilize it some, but not near as much as if I did that old clay dirt. So I think studying soil is very neat. And Gage, that might be something you want to look into. You're kind of an outdoorsy person, but you're kind of into animals too. So I don't know. But a lot of people like growing plants, and you just have to study to know how to get better at it, because plants have needs, just like people. Not as many as people, but they do have needs. And so just study what type of dirt your plant needs. Study what type of watering it needs. Some plants like to go for a long time without water, like aloe vera plants. It's hard for me to grow aloe vera plants because I want to water them all the time. They don't like a lot of water. So, And some plants need water all the time. Like if you grow azaleas, it's very difficult to grow them in Texas because they need so much water. So the best thing you want to do for Texas flower beds is just pick Texas flowers. I know I'm going on and on. Y'all are probably like, bleh, I don't want to hear this, Miss Amy. All right, so that's enough about dirt. Put this wet clay dirt, put it into like a hard ball or a rectangle. Put it outside in the sun to dry. Take it out of the bag, pat it into like a brick. Make yourself a brick. And they used to be called adobe bricks. And put it outside in the sun and watch it dry. It will get rock hard. And it won't take it real long either. All right, I will see you again. No, there's one more thing we got to do. I forgot. We have to cut out one thing and glue it on. We're not going to do any vocabulary cards today, but we are going to cut out our vocabulary pocket. And this folder did not come with flaps, so we're going to have to glue very carefully. All right, so you need to get out the one that says planting vocab cards, and we're going to cut it out. Okay. And we're going to color it. I'm just going to do mine with a marker because it's basically like tracing. Cut along the black lines. Ah! Oh my goodness. I just made a huge mess of mine. Alright. Okay, I fixed it. Apparently I can't see where my scissors are cutting. Alright, so it looks like this. And you need to color it before we glue it. Because once you glue it, you know, you can't color anything. So I'm just going to get a marker. I'm going to color my leaves green. And my green is almost gone. It's just getting faded, faded, faded. And remember, Leon, you don't have to do it perfect. Just make it look good. Quick and easy. But stay in the lines. You don't want to get outside of your lines because, I mean, that's like a 3-year-old. We are not 3. Alright, so my leaves are colored. Now I'm just going to trace my words. I want them in pink. Ooh, I need to get my glasses on. Alright, it's coming along. Color yours, or outline it with a marker. Okay, I've about got the top row done. Planting. Vocab is in a little bit bigger font size, so I have to trace it just a little bit more. Alrighty. Vocab is done. Vocab, now I just got to do cards. Messed up just a little bit. Not quite as neat as I would like it. That's okay. I don't have to be perfect. Even though I want to be perfect. Okay. My D. I don't know if y'all are done or if you're behind. Okie dokie, artichoke. Okay. Now, the crazy thing is they don't have flaps for us to glue. So you're just going to have to glue right on the edge. If you had this kind of glue, it would be best. Do not glue the top. Do not glue the top. That's where you have to slide your vocab cards in. Glue down the side, the bottom, the corner, the side. Don't rub it in too much either. Okay? Alright. Now I'm going to get my planting book. And I'm going to open it up. Alright, here's the planting unit page. Open it up. See there's space at the bottom? That's where I'm going to put it. Except I'm going to put it straight, not crooked. And try not to slide it around because you don't want that glue to go everywhere. You only want it to be glued on the edges. Alright, see? Now I'm going to let it completely dry. I'm going to leave this open and let this completely dry. Then I will be able to put my vocabulary cards in it. And then we just have one more thing, I believe, to put on here. And it is a piece of paper that's going to go right here. And it's going to hold all of our books. And you know what? I meant to send you some cardstock for that, and I didn't. Alright, so that's that. Now, we are done. Alright, so the only thing we have to do is tomorrow we have to make our, we've already done soil. I think there's one called compost, and I want to do compost with you. And then I think we're going to be done. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow.